Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. I am warbossfitz, and today we are going back into Age of Fantasy, tiny version, and regiments. Now, a few rules tweaks before we get into the armies that are going to be on the board. First off, we are playing in 10mm. That means these models are small. And with small models, that means that we can have larger units. And honestly, larger units just look better. So in this scale, I like to be able to combine units twice. That means instead of having one unit and combining it into two, you can take two units and combine it into four. And even larger in some cases. I'll go over all the rest of the rules we're going to be using after we talk about the armies. First army on the board is going to be the Eternal Wardens. They have a Lord on a Dragon, a Warden Knight leading a combined unit of 4 Wardens, a combined unit of 4 Paladins, a combined unit of 4 Eternals, 2 units of 3 Shooters, a unit of 3 Beast Hounds, a unit of 4 Griff Hound Hunters, a unit of 3 Drake Paladins, and 3 Artillery. We're going to be able to group them into one unit. And taking them on today is going to be the Vampiric Undead. We have 2 dragons on vampires. We have a Vampire Master on a horse, leading a unit of 4 Vampiric Knights. We have 6 combined units of Skeleton Knights. Then we have a Skeleton Champion leading a unit combined of 4 Skeleton Guard. We also have 2 units of 2 Skeleton Guard. 2 units of double combined Drained Soldiers with Spears. And then we have 2 of these units, a Drained Leader leading a brick of 50 zombies. Capping it all off with a Butcher Titan. So small scale models means we're going to be using our half size board, and when we're using our half size board, we're going to be using the half measurements out of the kitchen table rules, along with multi-basing, meaning that each one of the bases in each regiment counts as like the base unit size of the models. In the Warden's case, it's going to be 3. In the Undead's case, it's going to be 5 or 10. Some of the Undead units I had actually made for a separate game, so they don't come off the bases. We'll just have to keep track of that as we go. Also, because we're using small-scale actions, this game is going to go for 6 rounds. And then the biggest change out of all this, we're going to be using the phased battles rule. That means that each turn is broken down into a movement, a shooting, and a melee phase, and both the armies will activate them in turn. Now for deployment on the board today, it is going to be the standard 12-inch deployment, or in this case, 6-inch deployment, just because that Undead army is too big to be able to fit in any other type of deployment. Mission is going to be King of the Hill. There is one objective right in the middle. Both of the armies have been deployed. Now it is everybody's favorite time to see who gets to go first. Undead get a 4, and the Wardens get a 1. Undead are going to go first. Now, in phased battles, even though the Undead go first, all they're going to get to do is move first, and then it goes over to the Eternal Wardens. They move a unit, and then back and forth, and we go until everything has moved. Now, we're going to start with the zombies right in the middle. Now, the heroes attached to the units, they're kind of like a token. They can be moved wherever. I just have them sitting next to the units so that I know that they're there in case something gets close up to the flank or something charges them. That hero is going to fight regardless, but right now it's just a visual cue. Next unit to move is going to be the Eternals, stopping just short of the charge range of the zombies. Butcher Titan's going to move next, make it a little turn before it moves. In regiments, you can make a 90-degree turn anywhere in your movement. So that can be before, it could be the very end, or anywhere in between. Next, we're going to have the Wardens come out to play. They're kind of stuck in difficult terrain at the moment. At a half range, that means they can only go 3 inches. And again, that model all the way at the front, that base is just, that's the hero visual cue. Time for some Drained Soldiers to move. Next, some Paladins, moving through the street and reforming there at the crossroads. Time for some Skeleton Knights, moving to there, and then the Griffhounds see an opportunity. They are going to charge those Knights. Now they charge in like that, and because the angles are different, they're going to go ahead and close the door on those Skeleton Knights, maximizing the amount that can get into combat. Combat happens in the melee phase towards the end of the turn. Now is just where we are going to get stuff in close together, and we get to roll dice all at once. Next to activate, the Skeleton Knights that were left behind are going to charge into that same unit of Gryph-hounds, like that. All the way on the opposite flank, Drake Paladins, they're going to move forward. Skeleton Guard coming up behind the zombies. Now it's time for the Gryph-hound Hunters. They are just barely within range, so they're going to charge into the Skeleton Knights that charge the Gryph-hounds. Next is going to be the Vampire Knights. Hopefully the Skeleton Knights hold, so that no flank charging shenanigans happen. And then last thing to move for the Eternal Wardens is going to be the Dragon Lord. Everything else is going to hold because they're all ranged units. Putting himself over there behind a building. Now let's go ahead and move the rest of the Vampiric Undead. And that is going to be all the movement on turn number 1. Now, for casting, you can either choose to cast before or after you do your movements. We're going to do the casting after movement, of course, so now it's time to throw some spells. All of the Undead's casting is that it's 2 vampires on dragons, and then for the Eternal Wardens, we got that unit of blue guys there. They end up having 4 caster power, and that unit of cavalry back behind the tree, they got 3. The vampires get to go first, so they're going to take this Dragon Lord over here, and they're going to attempt to cast Vigorous Return on the zombies. Going to put 2 power into it, so it goes off on a 3. And it does. So now, those zombies have +1 to their undead save, earning themselves a little magical token. First unit for the Eternal Wardens is going to be the Paladins. They're going to use 2 spell power to try to give the unit of Wardens and the Dragon Lord Unpredictable Fighter on a 4. They do, earning themselves some orange magical tokens, and then second Vampire Lord is going to attempt to cast Dance of Death on the Butcher Titan and the 2 Drained Soldier regiments, giving them Teleport. Now, 3 points, it's a 3-point spell, burning all 3 of his, going off on a 4. Oh, that's a fail. And lastly, on the flank, we got 3 spell power in that unit of cavalry. They're going to attempt to use Thunderclap on that unit of zombies. They're going to put 2 powers into it, so it goes off on a 3. And it fails. Now for phase combat, we go into the shooting phase. Undead don't have any shooting, but the Eternal Wardens got quite a bit here. We have our 2 shooting squads and the artillery. All 3 of those units will be able to draw a line of sight onto that big block of zombies. So we're going to start off with the first shooter squad. Each one of those bases has 3 models on it. Each one of those has 1 shot apiece, hitting on a 4. It's AP4 with Smash. AP4 doesn't matter, we're shooting at zombies, but Smash means because their armor save is so low, for every one of these hits, it's going to turn into 3. So first unit, it'll be 4 hits. Now it says all damage is done simultaneously, so we're going to move on to the next one. We're going to roll saves all at the same time. Second unit of 9 shots. Only 1 hit. And then we have the artillery. They have the same rules for weapons, although it's 2 shots apiece, longer range, and with the artillery rule, they're going to hit on a 3 for 3 hits. So that's a ton of hits across all that. It's that many, and it's going to be saving on 6. They saved 5. Wow. But that's not the end. We gave them a +1 to their undead save, so now they get a 5 up. Ooh, that was really nice. After all that, they only lose 7. So each one of these bases counts as 5 models. So this is what ends up happening. 1 base down to 3, and their undead extra save goes away. Now we move into the combat phase. And again, it says everything happens at the same time. So this is just me maybe not reading the rules 100% or not interpreting them right. But these guys charged, and then these guys charged here. But everything kind of happened at the same time. So there's no real fatigue. I am going to refer to the book, and I'll be right back. All right, after confirming the Book of Armaments, everything happens at once. This is all considered one combat. So I am going to say everyone's going to get their impact hits except for these guys here because they didn't initiate any charge. And we're just going to go from there. All right, this is crazy town to me, the number of dice involved. So the Grift Hounds do not have impact hits, but the Griff Hound Hunters do. Each one of those is a unit of 3. That's the way I based them. Hitting on a 2. That's a lot of hits. Saving on a 4. Ooh. For that many wounds gone through. Now their actual melee attacks, because they got thrust, they're going to be hitting on a 3. For that many hits. Thrust makes it AP1, saving on a 3. For another 8. Now the Griff Hounds hitting on a 4. For that many. AP1, saving on a 5. For that many more. Now they get their Undead save. Ooh, re-roll that one. So there are 30 Skeleton Knights there, and that's a lot. They're going to end up losing 26. But, fear not. They get all of their attacks before they get taken off the board. So we have 30 Knights, 20 of them had impact hits. Hitting on 2. For that many. And these are going into the Griff Hound Hunters, meaning they're going to be saving on a 4. That many go through. Then because they charged, that unit gets their thrust attacks, hitting on a 3. For that many hits. AP1, saving on a 5. For that many more. And then the unit that didn't charge, hitting on a 4 against the Griff Hounds. Only ended up with 3. Saving on a 5. That saves 2 of them. So Skelly Bros took 26. The Wardens took all that. 22. So they won by 4. We don't even have to worry about full ranks. Morale test for the Skeletons on a 4. They're going to pass. So that's how we end up. Each one of those cavalry bases for the Eternal Wardens was 3 models or 9 wounds apiece. I might have to make better models to represent those. But yeah, 24 wounds takes out 3 of those bases. And that's the only combat we have on turn number 1. So the end of turn number 1, no one is close enough to claim the objective. And I have a feeling we're going to see a whole bunch of stuff go nuts this turn. Let's go ahead and get right to it. First activation is going to go to the Eternal Wardens. We're going to want a log jam right in the middle. If we can keep those big group of zombies off of stuff, we're going to go with that. So our big brick of Eternals, they're going to charge into the zombies. After that movement happened, they have brought themselves into range of the Butcher Titan. It's going to charge in there. Right into the flank. Next, the unit of Wardens inside the town, they are going to charge into that unit of Drained Soldiers. The small unit of Skeleton Guard behind the dragon is going to move towards the objective. Next, the unit of Paladins is going to charge into the other unit of Drained Soldiers. Skeleton Guard behind that is going to move through difficult terrain. They went a bit far, but they're going to be in that building there. Not in combat, though. Dragon Lord is going to turn and head towards that combat. Then will in turn get charged by the Vampire on a Dragon. Griff Hounds will charge back into that unit of Skeleton Knights. Vampire Knights will move forward, making sure the Griff Hound Rider does not have a charge angle, but the Drake Paladins on the other side will charge into the zombies. One of the units of shooters is going to move forward. Second Vampire on Dragon is going to jump over the combat in the middle. Griff Hound Rider is going to move behind the Skeleton Knights. Unit of Skeleton Guard in the back, they're going to hold. The unit of shooters and the artillery piece for the Eternal Wardens, they're going to hold. Now let's throw some magic. We got all kinds of stuff going on over here. We got magic, and I'm also going to put breath attack into this because it says do it before attacking. So everyone's going to breathe on everybody. But first, we're going to start with the magic from the Paladins. All right, from where they are sitting, they're going to cast Lightning Bolt on that unit of Skeleton Guard that's coming through the building. They're going to go ahead and put 4 points into it. Goes off on a 3. It does. That's going to be 6 hits with AP1 and Shred. Saving on a 5. They're going to lose 3. Then they're going to use 1 point to do Thunderclap on the Drained Soldiers in front of them, and that fails. Next, Mr. Vampire is going to use his Flame Attack on that unit of Wardens right next to it. It's going to hit. That's going to be 3 hits AP1. Saving on a 5. They're going to lose 2. That one has 3 spell power left. It's going to attempt to cast Deadly Gaze at the Dragon Lord right in front of it, going off on a 4. And it does. 3 hits at AP2, Deadly 3. Now this thing does have the Guardian boost, so that means it's going to be down to AP1, saving on a 4. Fails 1. Means the big guy's going to be down to 15. Now it's the Dragon Lord's turn. He's going to use his Fire Breath on the Drained soldiers that are fighting the Wardens. That's going to hit. Saving on a 6. 2 saves. Undead save. So that'll be 2 dead. Second dragon has 4 points. We're going to go ahead and do that first into the shooters in front of it. Putting all points into it, looking for a 3. It goes off. It's under 9 inches away, so the Guardian doesn't matter. Saving on a 6. Missed the box. 2. That's going to be 6 wounds. And then breath attack. It hits. Saving on a 5. 1 more. Finally, the Drake Paladin's fighting against the zombies. They're going to put 4 points into Lightning Bolt. And it fails. Time to shoot some stuff. We're going to have the artillery and this unit here fire into that dragon. And then this unit's here, they're going to fire into the Vampiric Knights. So the first unit of shooters firing into the dragon. There's still 8 of them left in that squad. This is where the AP4 comes in on the weapon. They're 1 shot apiece. AP4 hitting on a 4. 3 hits. They don't get their cool smash ability because the dragon has a save of 3 up, going to a 6. It saves 2 of them. Vampiric save, fail. Regeneration save, fail. So it takes 1. Now the artillery pieces, same thing, except 2 shots apiece. 6 shots. 3 hits. On a 6. Nope. On a 6. Nope. On a 5. 1. So the dragon's taken 3 total. Now against the Vampire Knights, same thing. They don't get the cool smash ability. It's still AP4 hitting on a 4. That's a lot better. 6 hits. Saving on a 6. Save 1. Then Undead save. Save 1 more. They lose 4 of the Knights. Combat time. These are 3 individual combats. Eternal Wardens get to choose where to start first. It doesn't really matter because everything is simultaneous, so we're going to go ahead and start with this one right here. So starting off, we got the Unpredictable Fighter. 1 to 3, it's AP +1. 4 to 6, it's +1 to hit. We got +1 to hit. So I still have 4 bases of 3 Wardens, 4 attacks apiece, AP1 with Furious and hitting on a 3. Ooh. So we got that many hits plus another 6 from Furious. So these are AP1, save it on a 6. I'll re-roll that one. For that many. 31 go through. Now we have our Undead save. On a 6. Yeah, that's going to do it. There were only 18 left in that unit anyways. So they massacre the whole unit, and they're going to turn to wheel to maybe get themselves into some of this action next turn. I forgot that everything goes simultaneously. Crap. Okay, going back, we're going to have the Undead dudes fight. So because the Wardens charge, these guys have counter. Technically, these would have gone first. Hitting on a 5. Not too shabby. Saving on a 4. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So technically the spears were supposed to go first, which might have altered the way that it went, but these guys so overkilled the undead guys that we're going to call that a wash. Next combat is right here with our Butcher Titan and all of the zombies. We're going to go ahead and start off with the Titan. 6 attacks, AP2. Hitting on a 3. 4 hits. Saving on a 5. That'll be 4 that go through. 12 attacks, AP1, hitting on a 3 with Rending. Ooh. Not a single Rending. That many hits, though. Saving on a 4. There's another 3. Then half of our zombies are able to fight. 20 zombies is still 40 attacks. Hitting on a 5. Ooh, we roll these 2 here. I mean, not too bad. They are just zombies. Saving on a 3. Oh, one more goes through. Now it's time for the Eternals to fight back. Tons of attacks. 3 attacks apiece. AP 1. Hitting on a 2 because it is reliable. For that many hits. Saving on a 6. Not bad on those saves. And then, saving on a 6. So what we got? We got 5, 10, 16 dead zombies, and 8 wounds to the Eternals. So now figure out morale. So let's figure out morale. The Eternal Wardens won by 8. They have 1 full rank left, because the back rank is now down to 4 models. They weren't charged in the flank, that takes off that 1. The Butcher has Fear 3. That takes off 3 of these. And the zombies started with 50. They're down to 22, meaning they're going to have 2 full ranks. So the Eternals win by 3. Morale test for the zombies. They're going to fail. Fearless. They're good. Butcher Titan on a 3. It's good. Next fight, let's have the Paladins fighting the Drained Boys. This time I'm going to remember the counter goes first, hitting on a 5. Yeah. Maybe I should have forgot. What's it, 2? 2. Paladins save on a 4. They take 1 whole wound. Now for the Paladins, they got Unpredictable Fighter. That is going to be +1 to hit. Hitting on a 3. AP 1 with Bane. Not too bad. AP 1 saving on a 6, but Bane means I got to re-roll it. 1 6. Let's re-roll that 6. Hey, it's still 6. And then Undead saves. Ooh, that's better. 4 more 6s. Losing 11. Even with rank bonuses and stuff, that's not going to be enough. Morale test for the Drained dudes. Looking for a 5. That's not a 5. So the Paladins absolutely shatter the units, and they turn to look at the stuff coming at them through the town. Next melee we're going to do is over here. Again, bear with me on the spacing and the size of these models. These, like I said, were not purpose made for this. If I do more of these, if I make more armies, they will be purpose made for this mode. So let's start with the Paladin Drake's Unpredictable Fighter. They are going to be +1 to hit. Starting off with the base attacks. 3 guys per base. 3 bases, 2 attacks apiece at AP 1. Hitting on a 3. Not too bad. Saving on a 6. None of them. Undead save of a 6. Oh, there's 2. Now it's time for them to hit them with sticks. Again, 2 attacks per model, 3 per base. Hitting on a 3, this time with Bane. Pretty okay. Saving on a 6. With Bane, we have to re-roll that 1 6. And into a 6. And then the Undead save. There's 2 more. 1, 2. So a grand total of that many. But remember, everything strikes at the same time. And zombies are quite the quagmire. There we go. Hitting on a 5. It's easier to pick out the hits. 15 hits out of 60. Is that right math? Yeah, that's about the right math. Saving on a 4. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. Okay. Once again, the Eternals won by 8. Even with rank bonuses, they can't come up with the difference there. Morale test for the zombies. They're going to fail, but they are fearless. They're good. Next, we got this combat again. Let's see what happens. There's only 4 Skelly Knights left. Let's go ahead and do those. They got 3 hits. Saving on a 5. 2 dogs. 2 wounds to the dogs. And then the dogs fighting back on a 4. Skelly Bros, I think it's over. Saving on a 4. That many fails. Undead save. 1. Yeah, the Skeleton Bros, yeah, you're done. This is bad, right? This is bad. And then last combat. No, I didn't forget it. Saving the best for last. Dragon Lord versus a Vampire Lord on a dragon. We're going to go ahead and start off with Dragon Lord. Unpredictable fighter. He's going to have +1 AP. So it'll be 10 attacks, AP2 hitting on a 3. For that many. Saving on a 5. Saved 3 of them. Undead save. Save 1 there. And then it's also got regeneration. Takes 1. Then it also has a big lance for 4 attacks, AP2. It'll be AP3 right now with thrust. Thrust doesn't matter because it didn't charge. 2 hits. AP3 saving on a 6. There's 1 save. Undead and regen. Oh, takes 2 overall. Now Dragon Lord's got Warden boost, so all these are going to be AP -1. I'm just going to add it in when I say it. We got 10 attacks, AP nothing, hitting on a 3. 7 hits. Saving on a 3. Ooh, it takes 4. Then it did charge. It's got 3 attacks. This is going to be AP1 hitting on a 2. 3 hits. Saving on a 4. 1 more. So Vampire Dragon took 2 wounds. Eternal Warden Dragon took 5. They both have Fear of 2. They both count as 1 rank. The Eternal Warden Dragon is going to lose combat. I just had to make sure it is fearless. Okay, we're good. So that's the end of turn 2. Things definitely went a little bit nutty. Moving on to turn number 3. First activation of turn 3, the Gryph-hound's going to charge into the back of the Vampire Knights. Next activation, the Skeleton Guard in the middle that are holding that objective. They are going to charge into the Eternals. Then the Paladins are going to charge into the town to take on those. Skeleton Guard. Hit them right in the flank. Next, the zombies into the Eternals. We'll test for reanimation right before combat. Then the Wardens are going to charge into the rear of the Skeleton Guard. Skeleton Guard behind the zombies are going to wheel and turn. The squad of shooters that have no target at the moment, they're going to wheel. Zombies on the flank are going to charge into the Paladin Drakes. Zombie Dragon in front of the shooters, it's going to charge the shooters. Dragon Lord is going to charge the Vampire Dragon in front of it. And the last unengaged unit is the Butcher Titan. He can't charge. He's gonna stand there and just kind of spin. And then finally, the last Gryph-hound Hunter is going to charge also into the back of the vampires. All right, before we get to the magic, I just want to point out that there is not a single model that is unengaged within range and line of sight for the shooters to even engage with. So we're not going to have a shooting phase. On to magic. Over on the flank, the Drake Paladins are going to sling some spells, but while they do that, we're also going to see how many zombies come back. 16 zombies down. We get 6 back. Drake Paladins are down to 3 spell power. They're going to try to cast Lightning Bolt again on a 4. It's going to go off. 6 hits. One of those saves, but because of Shred, one of those gets an extra hit. Undead save. We're right back to where we were. 6 up, 6 down. Mr. Undead Dragon here is going to use his breath attack on the guys in front of it and throw some spells. Breath attack on a 2. It hits. 3 at AP 1. That's going to be 3 more wounds. Then it's going to try to use its Deadly Gaze on a 4. No. Next to cast is going to be the Paladins in that mess. Once again going for Lightning Bolt. They have 4 spell power, so it goes off on a 3. It does. Saving on a 6. 2 saves, no surges. Undead save. No, they're going to lose another 4. Then last caster, the Undead Dragon over here. It's going to cast at the other dragon right in front of it, and it's Breath Attack at the Paladins. Breath Attack. That's a hit. Paladin's going to save on a 5. Ooh, they lose 2. And then putting all 3 points into Death Gaze. It fails. This time we're going to start off the combat phase with the dragon fight. Starting off with Big Daddy Dragon, our Eternal Warden Lord. He did charge this time, so thrust is going to matter, but first, 10 attacks, AP1 on a 3. For that many hits. Saving on a 4. Ooh, two. Two make it through the armor, and then we have Undead save. Nope. Regeneration. Nope. So it's taken 2 so far. 4 attacks is going to be AP 3. 3 hits. Saving on a 6. Nope. Undead. Nope. Regeneration. 1. So Vampire Dragon took 4. Vampire Dragon time. 10 attacks, AP 1 on a 3. That many hits. AP is not going to matter because the Guardian boost reduces it by 1. Saving on a 3. 4. 4 right there. Then we got 3 attacks, AP 1 with thrust. 1 hit. Okay, AP doesn't matter. Good. It saves. All right, so they both have fear of 2. They both count as 1 rank apiece. It's tied combat. Leaving Big Dragon with 6 and Little Dragon with 9. Next combat, we're going to do this over here. Paladins are going to attack. They have Unpredictable Fighter, giving them +1 to hit. All their attacks hitting on a 2. I mean a 3, sorry. Saving on a 5. With Bane, re-rolling 6s, not a single 6 in there. All that failed. Undead save. Nothing. 5, 10, 11. There's 2 models left in there. But remember, everything happens simultaneously, and because they got hit in the flank, there's only going to be 6 guys that can fight back over there. 1 attack apiece, AP2, hitting on a 4. And they have Sever, which goes off because the Paladin save on a 4, meaning they're going to get an extra +1 AP. So all this is going to be AP3. Save on a 6. They save 1, so they knock out 4 more wounds. Okay, the Skeleton Guard definitely lost combat. Morale test on a 4. They're going to fail. So the Paladins, once again, able to smash through combat, and they're headed over there to help out their other Paladin buddies. Next combat will be this one right here. First, we're going to do the Griff Hunter. Impact hit. That's a hit. Saving on a 4. That's a save. 2 attacks with a thrust. Hitting on. That's 2 hits. Saving on a 4. Ooh, 1 goes through. Undead save. There's 1 wound. Now the Griff Hounds. Woo. Hitting on a 4. That many hits. Saving on a 4. Ooh. That many fails. Undead save. Save 2. For a grand total of 8 wounds. So remember, everything happens simultaneously. We're going to go off of the 16 knights that were there, plus the champion, 2 ranks. That's the whole unit. Hitting on a 3. That many. And what we're going to do is we're going to take those on the Griff Hound Hunter until it is dead, and then move the rest of the Griff Hounds. Is this the right way to do it? I have no idea, but that's what we're going to do. AP1. Well, there we go. 3 of them. Griff Hound Hunter is dead. And the rest of the Griff Hounds looking for 6. 1, 2, 3. Meaning 5, 8. So even though they were charged in the rear, the vampires did 3 more damage. But being charged in the rear, they're at -2 for being charged in the rear. Full ranks, neither of them have a full rank at the moment. So that means the vampires win combat. Morale test for the hounds. They're going to pass. Rather interesting. All right, over here, Vampire Dragon versus the shooters. Dragon Dude, 3 attacks with thrust, hitting on a 3. Well, hitting on a 2 with thrust, so it'll be 3 hits. AP2 saving on a 6. No. Then the rest of the attacks hitting on a 3. That many? Saving on a 5. Save 3 of them. So that's a total of 7, meaning it's got 1 full base and 1 base down to 1. Now they're going to fight back, and it's kind of pathetic. 2 attacks apiece, hitting on a 4. Actually, that was pretty darn good. Saving on a 3. So we failed 1, 2, 3. Just failed 3. Undead save. Nope. Regeneration. 1. So it takes 2. It's down to 10. Morale test for the shooters. They're good. So that's how that ended up. We're going to skip over this one for now and go all the way over here to fight that out. Let's go ahead and do our Griff Riders. Unpredictable fighter. They're going to get +1 AP. I don't really think it matters against zombies. All of their non-bane hits on a 4. Everybody hits. Saving on a 6. 1. 2. 2 of them. Undead save. 1 more. So there was 6 in that volley. Now we have the bane attacks. On a 4. For that many. Saving on a 6. Reroll it for bane. No. Undead roll. Save 1. So a grand total of 14 wounds. Zombie attacks back. Missing the bucket. Oh, look at all these cocked dice. Oh, Lord. Whatever. Hitting on a 5. So we got 13 hits out of 60. So, saving on a 4. 7 wounds. Zombies obviously lost combat morale test. They failed, but they're fearless. They're good. The zombies are slowly grinding through over there, but all the way on this flank, I don't know if it really makes a difference. So now, let's get into this. This all counts as one combat. We got the zombies, the Eternals, we got the Skelly Bros, and then we have the Wardens. Woo. Let's start off with all the attacks on the Eternals. Skelly Bros, we have 10 attacks for the front 2 ranks, hitting on a 4. This is going to end up being AP 3. That many hits. Saving on a 6. Ooh, they saved 3 of them, but that's 3 wounds taken. So for the zombies, we never checked reanimation. 24 reanimations. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are going to come back. So that coming back, we got 60 attacks. Hitting on a 5. So it's getting 14 out of 60. That seems to be about the right average. Saving on a 3. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was not. For a grand total of 8 lost. Now let's fight back. Okay, Eternals with their reliable weapons. On a 2. That many hits. AP 1, doesn't matter. Saving on a 6. Saved 1, 2, 3, 4. Undead saves. 2. So that is 5, 10, 16 dead zombies. Now it's time for the Wardens into the Skelly Bros. Hitting on a 4. With Furious. Alright, there's our hits. We got 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6. Okay, these are all AP 1 into the back of the skeleton, saving on a 5. That many fail. Undead, roll for 6. 1 out of all that. So we got 5, 10, 14 dead there. And the Skelly Bros, they get to fight back because they got charged in the rear. So there's 2 more ranks in the back that can fight that direction. 10 attacks, hitting on 4. Maybe not. We got 3 whole hits. Saving on a 6. No, so there'll be 3 dead there. Obviously, the Eternal Wardens won that combat again. Skeletons, they're going to pass. Skelly Bros, they're going to pass. The aftermath of that combat was long and ridiculous. But that's the end of turn number 3, going on into turn number 4. Let's do some movement, and first up is going to be the Undead. The Vampiric Knights, they're going to make their way into the Eternals. Big Daddy Dragon charging into Little Dragon. Skelly Bros charging the Eternals. Wardens charging the Skelly Bros. Butcher Titan charging the Wardens. Paladins charging the Zombies. The big unit of Skeleton Guard charging into the Wardens. Griffhounds charging into the Vampiric Knights. Zombies into the Eternals. Last, the Zombie Dragon is going to charge into those guys in front of it. And the Paladin Cavalry charging into the zombies. So, once again, shooting. There's nobody that is unengaged that is going to be in range or line of sight. So, phased combat, not very good if you're a shooting army. We'll have some chats afterwards. But now let's get down to the spells and then the killing. Alright, we're going to start off over here. We're going to see how many zombies come back. And then the spells. There's a lot of spell power concentrated right here. We'll see what happens. So first, let's see if we get 30 zombies coming back. I missed that box with one. And I missed it a second time. Dang it. Ha. All that for 2. 9 zombies coming back. Starting off with our Drake Riders, we are going to try Heavy Storm. It's going to go off. It's only got 2 spell power left, so I only put 2 into it. 4 hits, looking for a 6. Nope. Undead save. Okay, so there's 3. Then the Lightning Bolts. 4 points from the Paladins, going off on a 3. Yes. 6 attacks. Save 2. And no shred. Saving on 6 for the Undead save. No. So a total of 7. So 9 got up, 7 got put back down. All right. Our last 2 casting things are over here. Time for the dragon on dragon fight. We are going to start off with Death Gaze. It goes off. So it's going to be 3 hits. Ends up being AP 1 because of Guardian. One of those goes through. So that's going to be 3 wounds. Then it's got Breath Attack. Nobody else is in range. Going to put it on the dragon. It hits. Blast of 3. Only hits once because there's only one of them, but it doesn't go through. Then our dragon in the back. Blast. Well, Breath Attack. Oh, he actually misses this time. And then Death Gaze. Does not go off. So that's it for magical shenanigans. Let's go ahead and do the dragon fight. One's down to 3. Oh no. Big dragon charge. So all the little dragon's attacks are going to be AP 1, which go down to AP nothing because of Guardian. Hitting on a 3. That many hits. Saving on a 3. It's down to 1 wound left. Now, Big Dragon did charge. We have its Lance. Hey, that's going to be 3 hits. Too bad it doesn't have Furious. Saving on a 6. Fail all 3. Undead save. Nope. And then Regeneration. Takes 2. Rest of the attacks on a 3. Ooh. 5 hits. Saving on a 4. Save 2. Undead. Save 1. Regeneration. Save 1. So it took 3. Big Dragon 1 combat, even though it's down to 1 wound. Morale test for the little dragon. It's going to pass. All right. Fight until the bitter end for both of them. Now, second dragon fight. Lance hitting on a 2. 2 hits. Saving on a 6. 1 save. Then 10 attacks hitting on a 3. Ooh. 4 hits. Saving on a 5. Loses 3 more. Now all they're fighting back on a 4. Ooh, 1 hit. Good God. Saving on a 3. Undead. Regeneration. It takes 1. Morale check for the shooters. That's going to be a fail. But they are fearless. That means they gone. It only had to chew through 7 out of 9 of them. Bang. Now we move to this fun. Unpredictable fighter. Let's go ahead and do it for both of them. We'll say they both get +1 to hit. So first off, we're going to group everything together here. Their main attacks hitting on a 3. That's a lot of 1s and 2s. That many hits. Saving on a 6. Rerolling the 6s for Bane. Look, got 1. Yay. Undead roll. Okay, we saved 2 of those. So that means 5, 10, 14 more. Uh-oh. But wait, there's more. Now the mounts get to fight out of 3. Oh, Lord, they all hit. Save it on the 6. Save 1. Undead save. None. So 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 21 wounds. Leaving just the hero alive over there, but everybody gets to fight back. 21 zombies. 42 attacks. Hitting all 5. 15 hits. Saving out of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 go down. Definitely morale test time for the zombies. That's a fail, but they're fearless. Ooh. After all of that, we finally have this flank cleared out. There's still a long way from the objective, and now it is time for this. Everything is simultaneous, so we're going to start at the end with the Skelly Boys. 20 attacks, hitting out of 4. For that many. Turns into AP2, saving out of 6. Well, they saved 3 of them, but they're going to lose 5. Now it's time for the Butcher Titan to fight. 6 attacks, AP2, hitting out of 3. They all hit. Saving out of 6. Save 2, but they're going to drop 4 more. Now the Wardens are going to fight into the Skelly Boys in front of them. Warden Knight's going to attack first. He's going to have 2 hits. Not going to smash, though. AP4. 2 fails. 2 undead save fails. The Wardens are going to go, hitting out of 4 with Furious. That many hits plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sixes. Saving on 5. That many fails. Undead on a 6. That's enough to kill off the rest of the unit. That's just going to be 4 more. I don't know if it's supposed to spill over. I'm going to say no. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Now the Skelly Bros, before they died, they get to fight the Wardens on a 4. 2 hits. Saving on a 5. Save 1. Now we're going to do the zombies. I have to see how many zombies come back. We're missing this many. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. Wow, we had 15 zombies come back. Now time for the zombies attacks. Hitting on a 5. How many hits did I get? Well, I got this many. Saving on a 3. Alright, so they lose 8 this time. Now the Eternals into the zombies, hitting on a 2. Not bad. Saving on a 6. Ooh, we pass 4 of those. Undead. Pass another 1 for a total of 5, 10, 12. Then we got the Vampiric Knight, 7 of those plus the leader. So I should have done the impact first, but meh, sue me. 7 hits, saving on 3. There's 3 more. Then the Lances, hitting out 2. 1 miss. These become AP2, saving on 5. Ooh, saves 2 for 7 to go through. And then finally the Hounds charging into the rear of the Vampire Knights. Hitting on a 4. Wow, we only hit 5 times out of all that. Look at that. Saving on a 3. 2. Undead. Yep, they lose 2. So, with that craziness out of the way, these are the wounds caused. These are what the Eternal Wardens took. These are what the Vampiric Undead took. We're going to, take 1 for 1 until we're down to see who won this combat. All right, so the vampires won by 8. Now, we have to check ranks. We'll bring that here to the middle. For the Undead, we have 2 ranks with the Skelly Bros, because they are unhurt. We have 1 rank with the zombies. We have 1 rank with the Wardens. Eternals, they're kind of screwed. 1 rank with the vampires, and 1 rank with the Griffins. Oh yeah, and 1 rank, big guy counts as 1 on his own. So yeah, all that, the vampires won by 11. So morale test for the different Eternal Warden units. Griffins, they're going to pass. Eternals, they're going to pass. Wardens, Ooh, fearless. They're going to pass. Everybody passes. So that is the end of turn number 4. So remember, we're going to 6, but things are starting to clear out a lot in the middle. So let's go ahead and roll right into turn number 5. First activation of turn number 5, the Warden's going to charge into Mr. Fatbody, the Butcher Titan. Next, Vampiric Knights are going to charge into the last Eternal. Griff Hounds right up the rear. Skelly Boys charging into the side of the Wardens. Paladins in the back are going to double time it forward. Vampire Dragon once again charging into Big Dragon. Zombies are going to wheel. We'll check to see how many of those come back in a minute. Drake Paladin moving forward. Unengaged Vampire Dragon is going to charge into the artillery. And the only other unengaged are the shooters, which they're going to move forward a little bit. Right there. Magic time. We've got lots of magic over here. They're going to launch... you know what? We're going to launch this way. Into that guy. And then we got magic there. Magic there. And then we have to check zombies. How many zombies we get back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zombies. Time for spell casting. Paladin's going to fire a lightning bolt at the dragon. Looking for a 3. It goes off. Ooh. It saves 2, but then it takes 2 more from those 2 ones. Undead save. Saves 1. Regeneration. Saves 1 more. So it takes 4. It's down to 2. The other unit is going to cast Thunderclap at the Skelly Boys. So we got 1 power, looking for a 4. And it fails. Mr. Dragon, at least Mr. Vampire Dragon. Once again, Deadly Gaze. It's going to go off, saving on a 4. Oh, that is going to be enough to knock out Mr. Dragon Lord. Then the dragon's going to fire its fire breath at the Paladin Riders. That's a hit, saving on a 5. They're going to take 3. Second, Vampiric Dragon is going to fire a Flame Breath. That's going to hit. Saving on a 5. There goes 1 piece of artillery. And then a Spectral Wind is going to put all 3 points into it. It goes off. 4 hits at AP2. 1 artillery piece is going to be down to 1 wound left. So we're left with 2 artillery pieces on the board. They're going to be in combat. We'll see what happens. And then Mr. Big Dragon is gone. Yeah. Now our shooters do have a target. These guys are going to fire off at those zombies. 9 shots hitting on a 4. 2. Well, it turns into 6. Saving on a 6. Okay, there's 2 that failed. Undead save. All right, we lose 2 zombies. Now it's time for combat. We're going to start with this first. We're going to have 6 impact hits. 5 hits. Then that last guy is going to be gone. So then they might as well turn around and attack the other direction. Even though they charge another target. Even though all this happens at the same time. I don't get it! 4 hits. Saving on not that. 4 dead Griffin dogs. Griffhounds fighting back on a 4. Not all that. I got 7 hits. Ugh. Vampire save on a 3. Fail 1. Undead save. Fail. So it's tied. Griff dogs charged in the rear. That's 2 for the Griffins. Eternal got charged in the side. That's -1. Meaning that the Griff dogs win by 1. Morale test. Yeah, they're going to be fine. They're just nipping at their heels the entire way across this board. Now, this combat. The Skelly Bros and their champion are going to attack, hitting on a 4. With Sever, that turns into AP2, so saving on a 6. None of them. 15 wounds. Time for the Wardens to fight Mr. Fatbody. Champion is going to be no hits. And the rest hitting on a 4 with Furious. So we got that many hits plus 3 for the Furious. AP 1, saving on a 3. Takes 4. Undead save. Yeah, it takes 4. It's going to be down to 14. Now its attacks. 6 at AP 2. On a 3. 4 hits. Saving on a 6. 3 more. The only one left there is a Warden Knight with 5 wounds left. 12 attacks, AP 1 with Rending, hitting on a 3. Oh, quite a few Rending. Miss, 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 miss. Rending, 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 rending. Okay, the AP 1's saving on a 5. Takes 1 there. Then the Rending's on a 6. Just enough. The big unit of Skelly Bros is wheeled over that direction. And then Mr. Fat Boy, he is standing on that objective, daring anyone to come and take it. Last combat of the turn is over here. Heavy Lance. 2 hits. Saving on a 6. There's 2 right there. Then the rest of the attacks at AP 1. Hitting on a 3. Saving on a 5. That'll be enough. Taking out the artillery, leaving that dragon to wheel himself around. Moving on to turn number 6, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. But let's see what happens. For movement, we're going to go ahead and give it to the Eternals first. They're going to charge into the Skelly Bros, or the Paladins charging into the Skelly Bros. Dragon is going to charge into the back of the Shooters. Griffhounds into the back of the Vampiric Knights again. Other Dragon is just going to hold, it's going to spin. Paladin Drake. That dragon's down to 2 wounds, it's going to charge it. And that's it for movement. Alright, casting. We got all of our casting over here, and a little bit right there. Let's start over here first. Starting off with the big unit of Paladins, they still have 4 casting power. They're going to go ahead and put a lightning bolt into the dragon. And it goes off. Alright, saving on a 4. Fails 3. Undead save. Saves 2. Regeneration. Takes 1. That dragon is going to return the favor. First with a breath weapon. Hits. Saving on a 5. That'll be 2. Then with Death Gaze. Fails. The Paladin on the Panther back there. It saved last turn, so it's got 2 points. It's going to put both of them into Heavy Storm at the dragon. It goes off. 4 hits. Failed 1. Undead save. And it saves. Next, the dragon against the Shooters. Breath attack. That's a hit. Saving on a 5. Takes 1. Then Death Gaze. It goes off. Saving on a 6. No, that will drop an entire base of the Shooters. Time for combat. We're going to go there, 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 and then there. We'll leave you in suspense. Dragon against the Shooters, the Lance. Ooh, 1 hit. Saving on a 6. Nope. 10 attacks, AP 1. On a 3, and I missed that box. 2 misses. Saving on a 5. So we save 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning 4 go through. All their attacks back on a 4. 5 hits, saving on a 3. There's 2 that go through. Undead. Regen. Takes 1. The Dragon Lord obviously won combat. Morale on a 4. Ooh. Fearless. They're going to be stunned because there's more than half left. Next, combat. Paladin dude over there, unpredictable. Plus 1 AP. AP 2 attacks. 2 hits. Saving on... not that. Undead. Regen. That's a dead dragon, but it's simultaneous. The dragon gets to fight. 3 on a 3. They're all AP 1. 1 goes through. Then 10 attacks on a 3 at AP 1. 4 hits. Saving on a 5. Only takes 1, meaning it's down to 2. It lives. Dragon dies. Next, we got Doggos into the Knights. On a 4. 5 hits, saving on a 3. Ooh, 3 fails. Undead save. No. It's going to be down to 1 knight and then the hero. But again, simultaneous. 3 hits. Saving on a 6. There go 3 more. Doggos 1. Vampires pass. So this is what everything looks like at the moment. Final combat of round number 6 right here. Paladin's going to fight first. Unpredictable fighter. +1 to hit. Lots of attacks on a 3. For that many hits. Saving on a 5, and I have to reroll 6s. Ooh, 1, 6. Ugh. That many fails. Undead. Save 3. For a total of 7. Now all their attacks back on a 4. For that many hits. Sever puts it to AP2. Saving on a 6. Save 2. For 8 wounds going through. Skelly Boys 1 combat. Paladins pass. That is how that is going to end up. If they were able to make those skeleton boys flee, they would have been able to get over here and contest. End of turn number 6. Vampiric Undead win 1-0. Now let's have a little chat. All right, chat time with the War Boss. So that game was interesting. It allowed me to try out some of the advanced rules that you guys don't get to see much on YouTube. The big one I want to talk about is the phased combat. Now, phased combat, I believe, screwed my ranged units completely. I might have been playing it wrong, but from me going over the rules and not really having anybody else who's ever done it before, that was my first shot at it. If that's the way it works, do not recommend. The half measurements is nice because, you know, the board over there is only 3 feet by 2 feet, which is something you could put on a kitchen table, a coffee table, something in front of the couch to be able to play whatever, whenever. And that would equate to a full-size 6 foot by 4 foot board. Now, multi-basing. This is something else. This was throwing me off the whole time. A lot of the units, especially my vampire undead units, I based these. This was my first shot at 10mm stuff, like years ago. And I had actually based these for Kings of War, 10mm. I didn't know OPR existed yet. So this was another thing throwing me off. I think, like here, especially the infantry, this is supposed to count as 10 infantry, and it's just, that just threw me off completely. So I think what I'm going to do, moving forward, if you guys want to see more of this 10mm stuff, I'm going to standardize not just my army builds. I'm going to make stands with 5 cavalry and 5 infantry, and we'll just rank them up from there. I do like the multiple combining of units so you can get bigger units, because normally this would be the maximum size, unit of 10. I mean, it looks cool, but 4 of these things mounted next to each other and a couple deep, yeah, I want to have giant regiments of stuff. Kind of outside the scope of OPR at the moment, but I want it. I want it. And then also, I'm going to be making my well, first off, my Titans bigger, because that does not look like a Titan. It kind of piddly. And this dragon compared to the other dragon, like the scale's supposed to be the same, and they are for the characters, but this one is not so scary. You know, still 18 wounds, 15 wounds, and these are so easy to paint up too. Oh, I love this. I love 10mm so much. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna standardize the army builds. I do like having the heroes off on their own. They're going to get their own square base, so that they'll be used kind of like as a token. They can go on top of the unit, or behind the unit, or next to the unit, or wherever they need to be counted as a hero on there. Yeah, this standardizing really needs to happen, because even my zombies, you could tell, my pride and joy, my zombies, you could tell that these used to be on a much larger base. Like Kings of War, like horde size base is like this big. I think it was like 150 zombies in one horde, and I had multiples of those. So then when I switched over to OPR, I tried to clip them apart, and this is what happened. Clear plastic. Kind of shattered. So, I mean, there's some work to do. If you guys want to see more 10mm stuff, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Tell me which 10mm army I should do next. I got files for quite a few of these kicking around that I just haven't pulled the trigger on yet. And maybe 6,000 points is a bit high. We might want to limit it to like 5,000 points. I don't know if that extra 1,000 points really made the difference, but I don't know how long this is going to be after I edit it up, but I've been out here in the garage for 3 hours is how long it took me to play this game. Could be a little bit my own mental block with the unit sizes and stuff, just not meshing right. And once I get it right, I know it will mesh better. So check out our sponsors in the description below. We got PrintedStarships.com. If you want small-scale stuff, they've got a couple small-scale things. If you search for sci-fi 6mm, I think is what he has it under. Got a couple things there. And then we have Corvus Terrain, which all of his stuff, you can all scale it down. Some of this terrain, like this is, move those there. This is 32mm terrain. And I just hit, what was it, 30%? Or maybe 25% on my slicer, and I got that. This is not Corvus Terrain. Oh, look at that, I got fuzz all up in there. But he's got stuff like this. Check him out. I got a merch shop. I got a Patreon. If you want to get some behind-the-scenes stuff, join up to the Patreon. And I think that'll do it for me today. I'm going to go inside. It's dinner time. I hope you guys are having fun playing OPR wherever you are, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.